Welcome back for another episode of Transfer Talk on Football Daily. The summer window isn't even open, and yet there are countless reports of deals being signed and players being approached across the continent. Here are some of the best stories doing the rounds. Ahead of their defeat to Liverpool last weekend, Southampton boss Ralph Hasenhüttl all but admitted that Ryan Bertrand will be leaving this summer. The 31-year-old had been offered a new deal by the Saints, but has rejected their advances. As a result, he'll be a free agent come the end of the season and is said to be chasing one last big contract. And there are a whole host of surprising names reportedly set to offer him just that. According to Goal, Arsenal are preparing a move for the 19-capped England international, having failed in an approach last January. Manchester City have also contacted the South Coasters as they look to boost their homegrown squad quota. But interest in their left-back isn't just limited to the UK. AC Milan could take on Arsenal and Manchester City for Bertrand's signature, along with French side AS Monaco. The Ligue 1 outfit recently hired former RB Leipzig sporting director Paul Mitchell, who is said to be very keen on bringing Bertrand to the Stade Louis. Wherever he goes, this is a huge blow for Southampton, who could also lose Danny Ings this summer as well. But for Bertrand, after 244 appearances for the Saints, you can't blame him for wanting to try his luck elsewhere. Next to Jack Grealish, who is reportedly still being chased by a number of massive clubs in the UK. That's according to the England international's super agent Jonathan Barnett, who has caused concern at Villa Park by telling SNTV that it is no longer just Manchester United chasing the 25-year-old. Grealish only signed a new 5-year deal with his boyhood club last season, but after another stellar campaign that has delivered 6 goals and 12 assists in 22 appearances, it appears that interest in the playmaker won't be dying down anytime soon. Football Insider believes that Liverpool and Manchester City may have overtaken United in the race for Grealish. They even suggested that Pep Guardiola is willing to sell Raheem Sterling in order to raise funds for the Villa captain. However, Villa fans, you can breathe a sigh of relief, as Barnett also admitted there is every chance his client will continue to represent Dean Smith's outfits come next season. But what do you think Grealish should do? Test himself at the high level or stay loyal to Villa? Let us know in the comments below. This season is quickly going down as one to forget for Arsenal. Stuck in mid-table obscurity and dumped out of the Europa League by their old boss Unai Emery, the Gunners are on course for no European football for the first time in over 25 years. Mikel Arteta will be scratching his head trying to figure out where on earth it's all gone wrong. One thing is for sure, big changes are needed at the Emirates. According to reports, that means one thing: a radical overhaul in the transfer market. Football.London believes as many as 6 of the current squad will be up for grabs when the window opens, as Arsenal look to gain a war chest of around £60 million to start their rebuild. 4 players on that list have spent the season away from the club on loan, including Sead Kolasinac, Matteo Guendouzi, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and Atletico's forgotten midfielder Lucas Torreira. German outfit Stuttgart are also keen on extending the loan of Greek defender Dinos Mavropanos after the youngster impressed over in the Bundesliga. However, this time any agreement will include an option to buy. Right back Hector Bellerin also makes the list of want-away targets, having been consistently linked with a move to PSG in recent months. Calcio Mercato in Italy believes the Gunners want as much as £35 million for the 26-year-old, though the final price tag could be much lower. And in perhaps the biggest surprise, keeper Bernd Leno could also be packing his bags. The German has been one of Arsenal's most consistent standout performers since signing from Bayer Leverkusen 3 years ago, and the decision to sell Emiliano Martinez last summer was supposed to be an endorsement of Leno's position as number 1. However, 12 months later, and the Mirror believes Arteta is ready to listen to offers for the 29-year-old, who cost the club £22.5 million. Leno has 2 years left on his deal, though recently told Goal he could be interested in a new challenge. Now might be the time. And finally, Joe Willock will be a wanted man, with Newcastle desperate to make his loan move permanent. The young Englishman has scored 5 in 11 appearances for the Magpies, who have managed to drag themselves away from relegation, and Steve Bruce told TalkSport they will do all they can to keep him at St James's Park. So a free fire sale looks to be on the cards, but who will Arsenal be chasing in return? But before we get onto that, just a quick reminder to make sure you're liked and subscribed to Football Daily with notifications switched on so you never miss one of our videos. So who will Arsenal be going for? Well, without the allure of European football, they may have to work wonders to land the players they want. But that still hasn't stopped them from eyeing up some huge targets from the Premier League and beyond. We've already mentioned Ryan Bertrand, but next up in defence is Norwich City's Max Aarons, who the Sun believe is their preferred replacement for Bellerin. The 21-year-old has just helped the Canaries return to the English top flight, playing over 4,000 minutes in the process. but come next season he could be pulling on a different shirt in the Premier League. Everton are also said to be circling the Englishman too. Should Arsenal fail to land Aarons, then Real Betis defender Emerson Royal is being lined up as an alternative. Moving up into midfield, and Football.London believe the North Londoners will be the first to move for Brighton's Yves Bissouma, who could be one of the most in-demand stars of the summer. Despite attracting attention from a number of Champions League contenders, the 24-year-old is reportedly an Arsenal fan and regularly speaks to Gabriel Magalhaes and Nicolas Pepe from their days at Lille together. The Times even believe the Malian has asked to leave the Seagulls, where he shares an agent with Pepe. And 90 Minutes claim Borussia Mönchengladbach's Denis Zakaria has also attracted their attention, though Liverpool could provide stern competition here. But if Arsenal can't land either of those players, then Arsenal are said to be plotting a sensational swoop for French wonderkid Eduardo Camavinga. The 18-year-old has been heavily linked with Real Madrid and various other giants of the game, thanks to some stunning performances for Ligue 1 outfit Rennes. Le Sport 10 in France claimed on Monday Arsenal would do whatever it takes to land the French international, who could cost any suitor anything over £43 million. However, Football.London have fought back against this rumour, claiming those close to the player have dismissed the Arsenal speculation as absolute rubbish. So Arteta may have to try his luck elsewhere. But Gunners fans, what do you think of all of this? Who should you sell and who should you sign? You know what to do, let us know in the comments. Fikayo Tomori's future is beginning to take shape, and unfortunately for Chelsea fans, it doesn't look like the young Englishman will be returning to Stamford Bridge. Since January, Tomori has been loving life on loan with AC Milan, capping off his impressive introduction to Serie A by getting on the score sheet in a 3-0 drumming of Juventus. Papers in Italy were quick to highlight how the 23-year-old dominated Cristiano Ronaldo, and after 14 appearances for the Rossoneri, it's clear they want him to stay. Milan boss Stefano Pioli raved about the defender after their victory over the old lady. He told the press, "We want to buy Tomori on a permanent deal from Chelsea. Our intention is clear, and also Fikayo's decision." That comes after it was revealed that the former Derby loanee would be happy to extend his stay at the San Siro. Activating that clause, however, is dependent on them qualifying for next season's Champions League and banking the windfall that comes with it. At the time of writing, they are 3 points clear of Juventus in 5th, with 3 matches to play. But even if they don't qualify, there are rumours that Milan will push for another loan, this time with an obligation to buy. Ultimately, £26 million looks like a small price to pay for a player of Tomori's calibre. Chelsea may live to regret allowing the English international to slip through their fingers. And finally, another Chelsea defender who could be on his way to Italy is Marcos Alonso. The 30-year-old has struggled to hold off Ben Chilwell at left-back for the Blues this term, having originally been afforded a new lease of life under Thomas Tuchel. As a result, it looks like the Spaniard will be on the move once more, with Inter Milan keen on adding him to their ranks. Reports in Spain claim Antonio Conte is eyeing up a reunion with his former player, with Ashley Young currently tipped to rejoin Watford at the end of the campaign. This would open up a spot in the side for Alonso, who's only started 11 games in the Premier League for Chelsea this term. The Nerazzurri tried to sign the former Fiorentina star last summer, but ultimately settled on Alexander Kolarov, with Chelsea not playing ball. But after another difficult campaign for the flying fullback at Stamford Bridge, it's hard to see them standing in his way should he push for a move once more. Toro Fichajes believes Alonso would welcome a switch to the Italian champions, so watch this space. So that's it for Transfer Talk this week. Arsenal fans, what do you think about all those rumours? And Chelsea, can you afford to lose Tomori and Alonso? Let us know down in the comments below. Make sure you're liked and subscribed to the channel, and we'll see you next time.